Welcome, everyone, to the Tuesday, July 15th, 2025 City Council meeting. I can't believe we're halfway through the month of July already. So with that, I will start with roll call.
Councilmember Leetta Dahlhoff.
Present.
Councilmember Angela Jefferson.
Present.
Councilmember Joan Cathy.
Present.
Councilmember Eileen Swarthout.
Present.
Councilmember Michael Authauser.
He is excused this evening. He may join later.
Councilmember Peter Agabe.
Present.
Councilmember Kelly Von Holtz.
Present.
And Mayor Debbie Sullivan.
I am here. And join me in our salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So before we get actually started with our agenda, I just want to take a liberty, one liberty this evening before we get started. As many have read, Lyle Smith, who was one of our volunteer firefighters for many years, passed away yesterday. And I just want to take a moment to recognize him. He was 32 years as a volunteer. He was appointed captain of the volunteers by our former chief, Ridgway, in 1994. He was designated with the Red Cross Hero Award, who coordinated first aid stations during the 4th of July community events. He was a leader who inspired young people and entered fire service career after 40 years of experience as the singing firefighter, who wrote songs about safety and also enjoyed children and adults alike. He was a community organizer and helped the community gather some 13 tons of food for donations for the Thurston County Food Bank. And he also volunteered on many other things. But I think mostly what Tumwater residents remember him for mostly was that he was the Santa Claus at our when the fire truck would roll around our neighborhoods on during the Christmas season. And so he will be deeply missed. And it was sudden. So I just definitely wanted to recognize him. He's been a significant, important part of our community. And I just want to send our condolences to his family, and more information I'm sure will come out later, but I just wanted to recognize his years of service, and it's a great loss for our community. So I don't like having to do those such sad type of announcements. So with that, I'm sorry I did this in front of the Purple Heart proclamation, but we are looking at becoming a Purple Heart city. So we will have a two-step process, which will be explained. But first, I want to read my mayor proclamation. And it goes as, whereas the city of Tumwater is deeply supportive of its military veteran population, whereas the Purple Heart is the oldest military decoration in present use and was initially created as the badge of military merit by General George Washington in 1782. And whereas the Purple Heart was the first American Service Award available to those in the United States Armed Forces who were wounded or have been made ultimate sacrifices in service of our country. And whereas the mission of the Military Order of Purple Heart is to foster an environment of goodwill among combat wounded veterans and their families, to promote patriotism, support better governance on behalf of veterans and their families, and most important, make sure we never forget. Whereas the city is to recognize National Purple Heart Day on August 7th to honor the bravery and sacrifice of military personnel who have been wounded or killed in action. And whereas by issuing this proclamation, we aim to raise awareness of the heroism of the service members and their families and support the growing population of veterans in our community, including those who served with honor and made the sacrifices beyond what most people will ever understand. And whereas Tumwater recognizes the sacrifices made in support of our freedoms by recipients of the Purple Heart on local, state, and national level, and wishing a solemn acknowledgement of veterans for their courage and show them the honor, support they earned. I now, therefore, Debbie Sullivan, the mayor of the city of Tumwater, does hereby proclaim August 7th as National Purple Heart Day, and I call upon the people of Tumwater to join me in showing the appreciation for the sacrifices of Purple Heart recipients made in defending the freedoms and acknowledging their courage and showing them support they have earned. I also am encouraging the City Council to consider adopting the National Purple Heart City designation, and also encourage residents to learn more about veterans, the services all branches of government provided them, where those who in service continue to fall short. And remember always that it means for members of the armed forces that serve our nation of courage, sacrifice, and honor. And I signed it this day of the 15th day of July in the year of 2025. And before I do present that and have speakers come, in honor of my husband, who passed away a couple of years ago, he received a Purple Heart for being wounded in Vietnam in early 1969. So I have brought his original Purple Heart, which I am very proud of. He had many other distinguished awards, but so I understand, and this is very important thing. So I am presenting two copies of the proclamation, and I'll have some individuals come and speak. One is Alan Acosta, is with the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Chapter 407, and Jim Peterson, who is the combat veteran who served in the 101st Airborne, who received the Purple Heart, Bronze Star, and the Air Medal, and also represents Tumwater Chapter 41 of the Disabled American Veterans. So if both of you want to come and speak and say a few words, that would be great. And I will present you with the proclamations. And then after that, I will invite council members just for a moment to come and take pictures with these individuals in the chambers. So I will present this. So you can go ahead and come to the podium.
Good evening. I'm Jim Peterson, and I'm here to represent fellow combat wounded Purple Heart veterans, both living and those who gave the ultimate sacrifice in war. We are very proud to hear that City of Tumwater is interested in pursuing action to become a Purple Heart designated city. There are many throughout our state already and throughout the country. And if you haven't heard of it, there's a thing called the Purple Heart Trail, which is an honorary systems of roads and highways, bridges, memorials that are that give tribute to the men and women who've been awarded the Purple Heart Medal. It makes me smile as I drive around the country if I see those signs when you're either entering a town, small town, a big town, or you're out in the countryside and you'll see signs recognizing it. I especially want to acknowledge again those veterans and patriots that gave the ultimate sacrifice for their country. And I'm here, again, to represent them and other Purple Heart recipients and to thank the City of Tumwater for doing this. I'm a life member of the Royal Order of the Purple Heart. I want to recognize VFW Post 318 and also DAV Chapter 41, and their commander, Jim Ratcliffe, is here tonight, and as well as some other members of the DAV. So we're all here to say thank you and to support your efforts in moving towards the designation for the City of Tumwater. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I want to say thank you to the mayor, city council, and the city staff for arranging this Purple Heart City proclamation. Most of all, thank you to the supportive residents of the city of Tumwater. Tonight is a proud and solemn moment for the Military Order of the Purple Heart of Washington and the city of Tumwater, coming together to honor the courage, sacrifice, and unwavering service of the men and women of the armed forces, especially those who have been wounded or made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of this great country. As we officially proclaim the city of Tumwater a Purple Heart City, we do so with deep humility and internal gratitude. The designation is made more symbolic. It reflects the city's respect for the bravery of the individuals who have endured the wounds of battle and still carry the weight of the freedom's cost, some of them right here in the city of Tumwater. The city of Tumwater, being recognized as a Purple Heart City, is a pledge to the local veterans to always remember that freedom is not free. The city's committing to honor the sacrifices of our veterans, not just in ceremonies, but through action. By building a city that supports our veterans, welcomes our military families, and teach future generations the value of service. And to the Purple Heart recipients and local veterans with us today, thank you. You are the reason why we are here. You remind us that our patriotism is more than word. It is a life lived in service to others. Your courage inspires us, and your sacrifice will never be forgotten. Let this proclamation serve as a lasting symbol of the city's gratitude and commitment. May the city of Tumwater always be a place where veterans are seen, heard, and honored. Thank you, and may God bless our Purple Heart recipients, our armed forces, veterans, and the United States of America. This will defend. Thank you again.
Great, thank you. I have a couple copies of the proclamation, which I'll present, and then I'll invite council members if you want to come and we'll take a picture. And then I also have a pen that is a special pen that I provide, and I have enough for everyone in the audience. So I'm definitely going to give each one of you a pen.
We don't even get those pens.
Mel gave me- He moved up.
You're
Moved up
welcome,
in
sir.
class.
You're welcome. If you'd like a pencil, sir, I have a few at home.
Do you still have?
Yes, I do. They're collector's items.
She
They
doesn't
are
have a pencil sharpener.
Where do you want us? Over there? Do you want to get them in the photo? Or that'd be weird.
Cheese.
You need a button.
Mayor, I have a few words before they leave.
Oh,
Please.
yes, go ahead. Councilmember Jefferson, who is retired military. Yes, go ahead, Councilmember Jefferson.
Yes, yes, thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. As a 25-year Army retired soldier, this speaks to me. And I didn't know that we had a DAV chapter in Tumwater. because I had to go all the way to Lakewood to get services. So where are you located? Are you active on Facebook? And where can I find out more about you? You can contact me offline. Number two, when the city administrator first came to Tumwater, when she was first hired, I sat down and I spoke to her and told her this should be one of our goals. Because this demonstrates that veterans, their families, they're welcome and supported in Tumwater. This demonstrated that today. Thank you, city administrator. Thank you, mayor. Thank you, staff. This means a lot to me. I appreciate that. Thank
Great.
you.
I think you're going to get some information and great.
I'm Henry Gossage, DAV 41. Just to give you an insight, DAV 41 was formed in 1953. And the original charter was Tumwater Chapter 41. And so over the years, we've moved around because we were broke financially for rent. So we've moved around, but basically in this whole area. And we're accessible. Everyone, I think has our card. We're accessible 24/7 because our commander always answers the phone. But we're open 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. So people come from as far south as Vancouver, North Everett, as far as Bangor, just because we're around. And so we've been around in this area since 1953.
Thank you.
Oh, 35 Martin Way, right between IHOP and 7-Eleven on Martin Way, close to St. Pete's. You're going to IHOP, we're right next door.
Okay. Great. Thank you. All right. And thank you for everyone attending. You can certainly stay for the rest of the council meeting if you would like.
Oh, come on.
Thank you. Yes. Oh.
Lacey Tumwater.
Okay.
W.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of which one? Lacey?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
All you need is be a member yourself for that
Right.
facility.
Mhm.
It's the DD.
Yep. I have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tumwater.
Uh-huh.
I was the president in
Mm.
Tumwater. So
Great.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
for
Thank
sharing
you.
that.
Right. We'll get hold of them. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. All right, the next item on our agenda is public comment. At this time, we will receive public comment. You may comment on items related to city business not scheduled for a public hearing, which we do not have a public hearing this evening. When I call your name, please come to the podium, speak into the microphone and state your name and contact information for the record. Each individual will be limited to 1 3-minute period to make their remarks, regardless of the number of topics. Speakers may not comment upon, promote, or speak against any pending initiatives, ballot measures, or candidates. All comments shall be directed towards the council as a whole, not individual council members, and not to members of the audience, and refrain from disruptive behavior. So with that, I have one person signed up, which is Dale Smith. If you want to come to the podium, that would be great. Thank you. And state your name and address for the record.
Okay, I'm Dale Smith, and I live at 2112 79th Avenue Southeast. And just a couple items I'd like to mention. When I walk by River Drive, I noticed newly planted maple trees, but right across the street on the other side with older buildings that have already constructed, have older maple trees that are destroying the sidewalks. And I wonder why they're planting the same type of trees, at least they look like the same type, that have already been destroying the sidewalk on the other side. And I don't think we should be doing that. And the second thing is, I sat in a meeting when they passed the ordinance or whatever to take care of dangerous houses as a result of the 2008 housing crisis. A lot of houses were abandoned. there's a person at 6540 Elm Street who's been letting her house go into disrepair. Person's had a lot of police calls for welfare checks, and also I was told that person's a hoarder. Now it's been about a year since person no longer can live there, and I wonder if anything's been done to take care of the situation, because it's nobody's taking care of the house as far as I can tell. So just those two items. I'd like to know if anything's been done, and if not, then I'll probably talk more.
Yeah, and you can go ahead and contact city and staff can help you, okay? So just go ahead and you can email me or someone and we can make sure it gets to the right staff members to answer your questions and help you.
Okay.
All right, that's everyone on the list. Is there anyone signed up online?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone else in council chambers who wish to speak? All right. With that, we will now move. Let me find my agenda again. We will move to consent calendar. Do I have anyone who would like to make a motion to approve the consent calendar?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council Member Von Holtz, seconded by Council Member Dahlhoff. Okay, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the motion carried. And with that, we approve the minutes of the City Council work session of May 27th, 2025, approval of the minutes of the City Council meeting July 1st, 2025, payment vouchers, ordinance number O 2025-002, renewing the Puget Sound Energy franchise agreement, and also the Capital Area Regional Public Facilities District Board of Director appointment of Jeff Lane and Ann Campbell, and Amendment 5901 and 5907 Black Lake Biltmore Southwest 10th Precinct Annexation Petition. And so with that, those items were covered with the consent calendar. We will now move to council consideration, which is interlocal agreement with TCOM 911 for radio programming, and Chief Hurley will be presenting.
Great, thank you, Mayor. First, thank you for the kind words about Lyle. And just so everybody knows, we'll have more information forthcoming about celebrating his life and contributions. So thanks again. I've got two agreements that I wanted to touch on tonight. The first, I believe, is the subscriber radio programming agreement. These are items that would normally go to public health and safety, but we're not going to have that in August. So we wanted to move these through. So thanks for hearing them tonight. So subscriber radio programming, what are we talking about? First, I've only got 20 or 30 slides, so bear with me. So, TCERN is the Thurston County Emergency Radio Network. So this over the last several years, Councilmember Dahlhoff is well informed about this. The system is up and running, it's working as designed, and we're very happy to have it in place. But with that came throughout the county for fire and police about 1,550 radios, portable radios, mobile radios that are in the apparatus. And they're complex systems, so they need to be updated periodically. And what we're talking about tonight is the programming of these radios. And we'll study this for a minute. This is just a piece of a larger puzzle. And each radio has 16 channels, and there are different zones, and they need to be updated periodically. So it's basically a software update that we're talking about. This is a map of the as-built radio coverage in the county, and we have very good radio coverage here in the city. But to update these radios, TCOM's plan is to have about a dozen sites throughout the county with basically a Wi-Fi connection where units could pull up, park, and within a short amount of time, download that radio update for the units. And they want to put one of those in Tumwater at the fire station, which is very beneficial for fire and police because we can just have the updates right in our station. So it's a laptop, a Cradlepoint Wi-Fi connection. And generally, this is only going to happen once or twice a year, and we can coordinate those vehicles coming in and out of the station. So really, here's the request: authorize the mayor to sign this interlocal agreement with TCOM 911.
Councilmember Dahlhoff?
Thank you, Mayor. I am in full support as I represent Tumwater and TCOM, but I'm just wondering, Chief, and our other chief in the room, Chief Mason, when you both started your careers, did you ever think you'd get to the point where you would just drive up and connect to Wi-Fi and get software updates?
No. Yeah, the radios were much different then. They were VHF, you know, multi-channel, but the technology is much more sophisticated. These radios now, they're programmed, each person on our fire apparatus, they have a radio for their position. And when they radio TCOM, they know who is calling them. So it's very helpful to locate people, identify them if there's a problem.
Right.
Same with law enforcement as well. So it's just an incredible
I'm
system.
wondering if you could just give a little bit of background of before we did the ballot measure to switch from analog to
Analog to
digital. I was like, which way we're going? How messy the communication was. Could you just explain like why this is so important and how this has
Yeah.
helped you be more effective and efficient?
Sure. I mean, the whole TCERN system was an upgrade because it's a county-wide system, whereas the VHF systems, we had a variety of channels in the county. You had many more transmitter sites around the county. So it was very hodgepodge the way it was put together. We had one of the transmitters here at the Tumwater Fire Station for F3, which was our channel. So this system upgrade, it's a comprehensive county-wide coverage. You know, we can get coverage even to Pierce County, Lewis County, Mason County. That's what these updates are for with our partner agencies. So we have their radio channels as well. So it's a much more comprehensive, efficient system.
So this would help if we had like another derailment like in DuPont.
Absolutely.
This is to counter that and mitigate the challenges you experienced back then.
It should mitigate many of those because as those channels and zones we're talking about, we have a zone which would allow us to communicate with Pierce County. So
Right.
that interoperability is built into the system. In fact, one of the transmitters is in Pierce County and DuPont.
Thank you, Chief.
Yep.
Great. Did you have, Council Member Swarthout?
I want to thank Councilmember Dahl because she asked questions. So again, because I remember when all this happened before with,
The ballot measure.
well, and also too with the railroad disaster,
The
that's
derailment.
what was really just,
Interoperability. Yeah.
yeah, and that we found out that we couldn't talk to Pierce County. So you're saying now that we can we have communication with Pierce County and Lewis County as well?
Yeah, we can patch through to really our surrounding counties for mutual aid response. Yes.
And it's with all agencies, sheriff and all?
Yes.
for
Yep.
Everyone?
Mhm. Game changer.
Councilmember Jefferson, I saw your hand up a little bit ago. Did you have something you wanted to add or?
No, Councilmember Dalhoff, she asked the question. It was just
Okay.
for emergencies now. Everyone's on the same sheet of music, which is good for emergencies. That was my question.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure that I recognize that you had a question. So,
It was answered.
great, thank you. Any other questions or comments? All right, I am open for a motion.
I would be honored to move to authorize the mayor to sign the interlocal agreement with TCOM 911 for subscriber radio programming.
I would be honored to second.
All right, it's been moved by Councilmember Dahlhoff, seconded by Councilmember Von Holst. Any additional comment on the motion? All right, with that, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries. Thank you. And I believe you have another item.
We do. Yeah. This agreement is related to some very Tumwater specific equipment in our fire stations here. This is related to alerting, meaning when we get a call, how we're alerted to go on that call. You know, we have several mechanisms to do that. One of them is our systems built into the fire stations. Currently, our system is, it's 25 years old now, and basically each area of the building, including all the dorm rooms, they have speakers built into them. But basically every space in the station receives the same radio traffic. So for instance, if the fire engine goes on a call and the paramedics don't have to go, they still hear that call. They can't shut off their speaker because they'll just shut off all the volume at that point. So over the last several years, many agencies, including here in Thurston County, have been putting in digital alerting systems. And this is just an overview. You know, it shows that there are portions of this that, control what goes on in the station. But really, this agreement is about what's circled at the top, and it's just called the gateway. And this is kind of the brains of the operation in Thurston County. The idea is that rather than Tumwater purchasing its own gateway, this agreement will allow us to use TCOM 911's gateway that they've already purchased. And just for information, that unit is about $50,000. So it's very beneficial for us. And why do this? Why digital alerting? You know, it will lead to improved response times as we get that information to our crews faster. Increased situational awareness. As the crews are coming down the stairs, even at the station or out into the bay, there are digital reader boards that will tell them information about the call that they're going on and where it's located. These units are also, each room will be programmed so that the firefighters and paramedics can select what unit they're on. So if they're on engine T1, they're only going to hear engine T1's calls. And rather than the volume just coming on full blast, it's a graduated volume increase. Same with the lighting. The lights just don't blare on. They're graduated in their increase. And that has really shown some of the studies over the years for firefighters working 24-hour shifts. The idea of this jolting awake 2 or 3 times a night is very hard on your body. And really heart disease and heart attacks are one of the major line of duty death issues in the fire service. So it's just more stress in the body that this will help relieve. And reliability and redundancy. You know, this is an integrated system. It has backups built into it. So we always make sure we get notified of the calls that we need to respond to. And already touched on this. TCOM's already purchased the unit. They've agreed to allow us to utilize this. We have the rest of the system for Station T1 funded in the current budget. So once we get the gateway part established, and work through the purchasing agreement side of things, we should be able to move ahead installing this right away in Station 1, and we'll look at Station 2 as part of the remodel. So once again, the request is to authorize the mayor to sign the interlocal agreement that allows TCOM to host this for us.
Councilmember Dahlhoff has a question.
Thank you, Mayor. First, when you keep saying gateway, I keep thinking Stargate. I just had to share that with you. Second, I know that Tumwater is part of the Wellness City with the Association of Washington Cities, and we get a discount. Is there a way to do a survey of our staff current baseline now and then checking in in 6 months of tracking? I don't know what those questions would look like, but just some metric, because I would like to know the benefits.
We could work on a way to try to, that's a difficult thing to measure. We
Right.
have annual physicals every year where people, fill out surveys on their wellness and what have you. But, certainly things like better improved sleep cycles.
Just something, if you
Yeah.
could just try and
Okay.
capture it in some capacity, up to you.
Okay, now we'll work on that.
It'd be interesting feedback, right, regarding the technologies.
Sure. I would venture to say, especially larger departments that have the support to do that kind of work. I'll take a look. I would venture to say there's some other departments, larger departments that have implemented this that probably do have data on.
Right, I just feel like that would be a good success story, right? Good morale, and also with our Wellness City designation, that we should capture that in our application when we do that. Thank
Well, I
you.
can assure you it will help morale.
Part of me wants that in my house, like a digital reader board, right? Just walking by and I digress. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilmember Swarthout.
I was just curious what this all looks like, because I understand alarms going off, but
Yeah.
I just wanted what it looks like. And then that's the first question. The second one, so they have the radios. Did they sleep with the radios? And
Yeah,
what-
no, there's basically a radio in the station that broadcasts to the entire station.
Okay.
So each of the dorm rooms has, it says at the top right, G2 illuminated speakers. The system's called G2. So it has speakers that have volume that gradually increases, and the illuminated speakers, the light comes on in a gradual manner as they're toned their call.
And do they, again, but do they sleep? The radios, they get contacted through their radios?
It's through an overhead speaker in their dorm room. Yeah, they don't have their personal portable radio per
It's
se.
under their pillow.
Yeah, they may have on their phone. We have other alerting.
And that's what I was wondering too. 'cause
Yeah, we
everybody has
have-
their phones now.
Yeah, we have active 911, so everybody is also, if they choose to turn that feature on, will be
So that would-
activated.
contact them through their phone as well, perhaps?
as well. That's part of the redundancy. So it'll be the overhead speaker as well as the personal alerts on their cell phone if they choose to receive those. Most people do, yeah.
That might be easier to wake up to a cell phone than, yeah.
Everybody's,
loudspeaker, right?
everybody's a little
Everybody's got a
different.
different thing,
Some
yeah.
people got to crank the volume up to 10 to even
Yeah,
wake up. so-
right? Thank
Other
you.
people, not so much.
Councilmember Von Holtz.
Chief, I just really love the partnership, like how we are taking, really using resources that are there and making it work for Tumwater. So thank you for that. And 25 years, I mean, I'm only 4 years older than that, but I'm just thinking, how dare you? Like, how much has technology changed in 25 years and has there been other opportunities where we could have upgraded, like, or is that just the standard of?
I think this is more the standard today that we are upgrading to. Much of our technology in the fire service, I would say, we're up to date on most things. There are some things we could probably use some updates on, but I feel fortunate the city has been supportive. And a lot of this also comes through Medic One.
Yeah.
A lot of our technology support, certainly through TCOM. So those partner agencies upgrading their systems upgrades our system. So that, you're right, the partnerships are very important. The technology is, I'm sure Chief Mason can speak to this too, from 30 plus years ago. It's a lot different than it
Yeah.
used to be. I used to write triplicate reports in carbon paper for EMS calls, so not so much anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Great. Any other questions? All right. Is anyone willing to make a motion?
I'll move to authorize the mayor to sign the interlocal agreement with TCOM 911 and Station Alerting Gateway Hosting.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Von Holst, seconded by Councilmember Swarthout. Any comments on the motion? Any questions? All right, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right, the motion carries. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. All right, so with those being the two items on council considerations, we will now go to committee reports. First committee report is Public Health and Safety. Councilmember Agabi.
Thank you, Mayor. So we had a Public Health and Safety Committee meeting on the 8th, and one of the issue, or the only issue that we have on our agenda was an interlocal agreement with Tumwater School resource officers. So in our discussion, Leada wanted the city manager and the PD to put in some language because according to what was disclosed at that meeting, RCW stipulated that there are some data element that have reporting that need reporting collected on that should be put on the agreement. So that was sent back, and it is my belief that they will incorporate those data element with Leada submitting the language to city manager and then our chief, and then that will be brought back to committee. And then once action has been taken, we will send it to the full council for consideration. So the other additional item that we talked about, actually, that I brought up as our additional comment was about community policing program. So if you recall, 2 or 3 Saturdays ago, when we came to City Hall for the strategic meeting, our place, when we went down to the library, we had some officers giving away stickers and badges to some of the children that were in attendance. I thought that our police are already doing some element of community policing, that it would be a good idea if formally we have one not only to showcase the good work that they are currently doing, it also makes for a good public relationship between our citizens and the police. And also, given the incident that happened in Olympia last week, Wednesday or Tuesday, rather, when two of our residents here in Tumwater lost their life. In that instance, through such program, our police will be active in trying to educating the community what is going on and what has happened, so that we won't have people fill in the gap with what they think is happening that is not actually happening. So that is what we talked about. That's what I have.
Great, thank you. General
you.
Government Committee, my Councilmember Althauser, I will have Councilmember Dahlhoff. Hold on, I'll turn on your microphone. Will provide the report.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the elements was on the consent calendar day for the annexation for the Black Lake Belmore. So thank you for approving that. We also talked about the code development update as part of our 2025 comprehensive plan. And then digging into the conservation element, Brad had sent an email to all of us regarding the folder right in Nextcloud with all the elements. And so the conservation element is in there for us to review and make comments. And I had a meeting with Brad and Erica yesterday. And so that is also an option, right? If reviewing it, there's some challenges, right? Just schedule a meeting with them and then go over it. And that could save you some time and energy and frustrations of reading such a dense document. That's the update.
Great, thank you. Public Works Committee, Councilmember Swarthout.
Thank you, Mayor. We will be meeting on Thursday, July 17th at 8 a.m. And on the agenda, we have the interagency agreement with Washington Department of Commerce for Washington Electric Vehicle Charging Program closeout update. And we'll also be receiving information on the fire station solar and battery storage feasibility assessments closeout update.
Great, thank you. And Budget and Finance Committee will meet on July 25th. And a part of that will be our monthly finance update, Department of Enterprise DES contract agreement, ordinance number O2025-0012, creating a communications department, and ordinance number O2025-013 on changes to the B&O tax model ordinance. And obviously those items will come to council for action. So that is committee reports. And now we will move to the Mayor City Administrator report. And I will start off with City Administrator Parks.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. So just a couple of announcements, just one page. So I'll be quick. So this week, we are kicking off the Tumwater Screen on the Green program. And for the next 4 Fridays, from which are July 18th and 25th, and then August 1st and 8th. These are free events that include not only the feature film, which begins at dusk, approximately 9 o'clock, but also different food vendors and pre-event activities. So this Friday's film is Moana 2. That is sponsored by and held at the Toyota of Olympia, at that vacant lot next to them. The food vendors include Baby's Dream Dogs, Kona Ice, and Steve's Wicked Kettle Corn. Entertainment before the movie is actually from the Pacific Islander Club. They'll be there doing song and dance, and until they're gone, they're giving away free Hawaiian lace. Next Friday, the 25th, is The Wild Robot, and that's going to be at Tumwater Hill Park. That one is sponsored by OB Credit Union. Same food vendors, but the Bricks for Kids will be there before the movie starts, helping kids with some robot building. Sounds awesome. Second opportunity to enjoy our summer craft concert series is next Thursday, July 24th from 6 to 7:30 at the Craft District Amphitheater. The theme for this one is Global Tunes, and it features Mariachi Monarchas. So glad to have that happening in next week. Also on the 22nd of July, beginning at 5 p.m., the Olympia Tumwater has one of their Riverwalk tours, which is a free event that's actually we sponsor that event, help to sponsor that event, and it features Don Trosper talking about the history of our area and the local landscape. So that's a lot of fun. And then just wanted to give you an update. The pavement maintenance project is in full swing. If you haven't seen the contractor out there, this year it includes pavement repair and overlays, preventative crack sealing treatments, replacement of pavement markings, and pedestrian features across the city. The focus for this week is expected to include Crosby Boulevard Southwest from Somerset Hill to Fortner Drive, 6th Avenue and New Market Street, Armstrong Avenue from Hanson Street to South Street, and then concrete work on F Street, Rural Road, 53rd Avenue, and Deschutes Parkway. And then next week, the work is expected to include Delta Lane from Cleveland Avenue to the south end, concrete work on Anson Street, and drainage work at Historical Park. That's actually anticipated to be night work, so we aren't interrupting people in their enjoyment of the park. And then lastly, next week's work session is intended to be a hybrid format. So we'll be set up here, both here in the council chambers for that, as well as having our typical online version. So that is my report.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
My report will be somewhat brief. I attended the JBLM, one of the colonels is Colonel Parks is retiring, and so there was a change of command there, so that was very nice. And he's been here for a very, very long time and has just been a great partner with the city of Tumwater. I also want to thank all the staff and everyone who is so active in our 4th of July events. I would say that our 4th of July was absolutely awesome. The fireworks were amazing. We had no issues. There was no, it just couldn't have gone smoother. So I really appreciate staff and all of the extra hours that everyone put in to make that work. So it was phenomenal this year. So, and the weather even cooperated. So with that, I will now go to council reports, and I will start with Councilmember Swarthout. Yeah.
Ooh. Thank you, Mayor. So my report is I attended the Friday, July 11th Transportation or the Thurston Regional Planning Council meeting, and the highlight on our agenda was passing the Log Cabin Boulevard extension, and so it was really an interesting meeting. It was we appreciated. We probably should have had this information before, but Katrina excuse me, I can never pronounce her name correctly. Katrina Van Avery presented the information about how the connection is supposed to work out. And so you can see how it's been connected, and then there's just that missing piece. And so Olympia has made a commitment to doing the connectivity study in 2030. And so to see if that portion will be needed at that point. And so, and it was a very flawless discussion, and so it went through smoothly, and we passed the resolution as well. So that was the highlight of that meeting.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Dalhoff. Oh, let me turn on your microphone first.
I mean, I could project, but thank you, Mayor. I do not have any council updates, but I just wanted to extend what, Mayor, you started talking about Lyle Smith, and just last week we lost a couple individuals, and yesterday morning we lost an individual, and these are our neighbors. So I just wanted to have a request from everyone to reach out to your neighbors, and not just in a time of crisis, but to share a meal, have a conversation, and check in, because it could mean the world to that person. Lyle Smith's daughter, I went to high school with and I grew up with. In a matter of minutes, she lost her dad, she lost all of her pets, and she lost her home. And so I would love for you all to say, I love you, one more time than you think you need to your family and friends and your neighbors. It might be a little awkward if you say I love you to your neighbor, but maybe give them a hug or check in. I realize, I mean, I do that to my neighbors, but I've known them for almost 50 years. And I just wanted to confirm that I know my seatmates and our mayor and our staff reaffirm our commitment to fostering a compassionate and resilient community where no one grieves alone and every life is honored. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Von Holtz.
Thank you. Chuck's not here, so City Administrator Parks, I will thank him through you. He's created a monster. My husband got to jump in to drive one of the county commissioners in the 4th of July parade, and now he, I think it might be his new job. He will be representing Tumwater again in this weekend's parade, and driving around Mayor Pro Tem Dolhoff representing Tumwater in Olympia. So, but really, it means the world, and it means the world to him, and that makes me happy. So, thank you for that. And yeah, this year's 4th of July, maybe, I don't know if it was the Friday or what it was, but it was just a really amazing event. It always is, but this year seemed just a little bit better. Last week, I had the opportunity to join several other electeds. Mayor Sullivan and Councilmember Swarthout were also there. We met with local restaurateurs in Olympia who had concerns about potential impacts of the Olympia Bill of Rights. And I also heard from several community members who are struggling to access dial-a-lift services. Some were denied, others felt the process was discouraging or demoralizing. So they chose to just walk away from the process and not continue applying. These conversations are so important. And when we listen closely to the people most affected by the policy that we develop, whether it's a small business trying to stay open or a senior trying to stay mobile, we begin to see how interconnected our systems really are. And it's a reminder that as local leaders, we must look at policy decisions through a broader lens. We have the responsibility not only to address issues, but also anticipate and avoid unintended consequences. And we don't want to solve one problem only to create another. And that means we have to keep asking who might be affected that we haven't thought about, and what barriers might people face in navigating the very systems meant to help them. And are we talking to the people who live with the outcome? Whether it's transportation access, labor policy, or economic sustainability, our role is to balance values with real world impacts, and to do so with humility, curiosity, and compassion. So I want to thank the residents and the business owners that reach out to us, and we really do hear you, and it's so important that we hear your voices.
Yes, and it was a good meeting.
It
very
was a good
informative.
meeting.
Councilmember Jefferson.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no council updates. However, I have some words to say. Councilmember Jalhoff, thanks for your words of encouragement and advice to the community. Compassion is so needed right now, and your words touched my heart. I'm feeling emotional today. So along with that Purple Heart City and that, I'm just feeling good. I had a wonderful time at the July 4th parade. I like riding on Old Sparky, by the way. I like being right in front of Thurston County Sheriff Derek Sanders. We had lots of cheers, and I know the community was cheering for us. And so I had an amazing time. Thank you, staff. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Mayor. Thank everyone who was a part of that. Our police, our paramedics. Thank you. It was wonderful, and I always enjoy going to our parade. It's one of a kind, just the best in the Northwest. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Kathy.
Thank you, Mayor. Feel like I've been to a little mini conference on how to take care of each other here tonight, and that's wonderful. Part of the word compassion means to come alongside, so I think that's what we're talking about. And one of the things that I always remind about, especially when it gets very hot like it is now, is to be sure to check on the elders in your community, because a lot of people don't have, air conditioning or so forth. So heat is a hard thing for older folks. The 2 meetings I have in the first half of the month decided to make July our vacation. So I don't have any committee reports. And that's my report.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Agabi.
Thank you, Mayor. So on Wednesday, July 9th, I attended the Transportation Board meeting. So to start off, we have the 2026 Legislative Council appointments. And once we were through with that, we went to, I think I have it backwards. So for public comment, as you are all aware, we had a lot of comment from mostly residents of Olympia who live within Lock Haven area and regarding the removal of that proposed interconnecting road. So that took a while to sort through. And then we had the 2026 legislative appointments. And once we dispensed of that, we had TRPC staff gave a presentation about the recommendation on adopting the regional transportation plan, and that regional transportation plan involves the issue about the Lock Haven road. And so staff proposed, so staff gave presentation and gave two proposals. A was to remove that road, knowing what the consequences the pro and the con, and then B is to not remove that road and giving the pro and the con. So as we were doing that, somebody all of a sudden proposed that we should do A, which I think was to remove that from the TRPB, anywhere that is that Lock Haven was mentioned. So as I raised an objection about us, because I wasn't sure whether we were actually going to first talk about the presentation, but all of a sudden now we're not voting on the recommendation. So Pete Kmet did propose a language to the amendment because once that resolution was made to adopt option A, that becomes the issue at hand that needs to be discussed and a vote taken upon that. And because that was the issue, so there is an objection to that being discussed, and an amendment language needs to be done, and that amendment language simply as the city of Olympia, who is actually the custodian of that, who had initially bought the land and proposed that this connecting road was going to be built through that park to another road in Lacey. So the amendment says that the city of Olympia, before they do, so the city of Olympia is going to conduct a study to see if indeed they either want to remove that road or let that road continue to exist as proposed. If they were to remove the road, according to our chairperson and the writer, that's a regional issue. And the regional issue entails that all jurisdictions present at TPB have a say in how that is resolved. So the workaround language is that the city of Olympia, before they either remove or do anything, they will have to at least make sure that the study that they are going to do involves, if they remove that road, what are the pro and the con, and then they will get back to TRPB and let us know what they have done. So I don't know if that is binding upon them, because I don't know how you enjoin the city without any legal recourse to do that, but we did take a vote. So that's that. So we did vote to remove the road from the TR from TR to from the General Transportation Plan. So it's gone from our plan, but the city of Olympia will still have to, in their study, do a due diligence to make sure that that the study is done and then they get back to us. So I don't know how we get back to where we were before. So that is my take. That was the only meeting that I attended.
Great, thank you. With that, we have no other business this evening. So everyone, we are adjourned. Thank you.